Hey guys, and welcome to another Destiny Council video, and today we are excited to bring you some spoilers. Yes, we are joining the crowd of content creators that are bringing you randomness.
Those hot spoilers, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, pretty sexy right there.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh man. But in any case, we got some Lucas spoilers.
Yeah, you see, we got some sort of Bulba on the side, so you know it's going to be interesting. You know, it's going to be them Lucas cards, his last legacies.
So let's see if we can get this over here. We'll start off with prized goods. So some of you may remember Drudge Work. This is like Drudge Work, but worse and better.
Yeah, I honestly, I thought this card was really good when I first saw it, and then I realized, you have to exhaust a character every time you do its action. Not only when you put the resources on, but when you take them off.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty rough. I think the only real shining point for this is if you get it like turn 1 and you just kind of exhaust it twice in a row, put 6 resources on it, and then turn 3 you're like, give me the 6 resources, and you net 5 resources, although you have to exhaust 2 characters, so you better have like a 3, I guess. You have to have like a battle droid or something. So that battle droid made you 5 resources in 3 turns. That's still good value compared to what battle droid would normally give you, but it seems like the action economy is really bad. But we do have Sebulba sitting over here in the corner.
That's Sebulba synergy, though.
So Sebulba has this useless special that just puts a resource or removes a resource from a support. So if you just toss prize goods down, you could, it turns Sebulba's side into resource side again.
Yeah, I mean, I thought at first, Sebulba's special was only for the Bunta Classic, which we'll get to later. But, this is, somewhat viable option. I feel like if you're running Sebulba, you could maybe make a case for running this card. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like the type of thing where you just want to have a few cards in your deck that make Sebulba's special do something, because you don't really want a double blanks character. But putting a bad special with a bad card for a mech combo might not be worth it. But you never know. You never know. You might be able to find the right balance. And here we have another one. Sebulba always wins. So we're going to discard a support from play that has 1 or more tokens on it. So hard counters, the Bunta Eve Classic. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. For those of you who don't know, Bunta Eve Classic, let's see if we can bring it up here. It is a new plot, and this guy, sorry there. So basically, if we look at this, guys, Bunta Eve Classic will help you if you get a bunch of resources on a single pod racer. So if you run Sebulba always wins, people...
A little sabotage there.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, goodbye. So definitely a Lucas card. And obviously, in combination with Sebulba being able to put a resource onto a card as well, you'll be able to see.
So, Vandal, I saw a lot of play, and it was a 1 cost that you also had to remove dice on the board. So, I mean, I always saw it as kind of like a very best case. You kind of got rid of 1 die and got rid of a 1 cost. 0 for 0 cost, which is kind of okay. And then most of the times you're discarding 2 for upgrade or support, which was, I like the versatility of getting upgrades too. But, vehicles are here in a strong way as Hyperloops came and Nick Obi showed, with his 4-wide. So, if you're running Sebulba, this turns into a 2 cost, get rid of any support, which that's pretty good.
It's true, but in a sense, it's still like vandalized because you're removing at least 1 Sebulba die to put that resource token on it. But it does kind of hard counter random supports like the, what is it, Resistance Bomber and HWK. So,
oh yeah, it does.
And of course, these are all very combo-y cards, so we've only seen a little bit of the set. So for all we know, Lucas put in more cards that work with these. We just don't know, but we'll see if this has practical application. And moving on to our last spoiler, we have the Excess Stock Light Freighter. This one is, in my opinion, the most viable of all of them, but it still suffers from that delayed response, delayed value.
Yeah, it's one of those cards where it's not a Sebulba only card almost. You know, some of the other ones, you know, you're like, Sebulba. You really kind of want Sebulba for like Sebulba always wins. You know, you could see something with like prize goods, but Excess Starlight Freighter is really interesting. You know, has three specials. So one thing I like to compare this to is like Weapons Cache, a card that never really saw play, even though a lot of people had it hyped up. Because it had basically like a pseudo two resource side. The big downside is that you needed specific cards. You had to play like was it weapons only, and Starlight Freighter gives you the resources directly, so you can kind of do whatever you want with them. I think it makes it a lot better of a card, a lot more consistent. But at the same time, it is a delayed effect. It's like each special is kind of like a one resource almost.
Yeah.
So the first time you do it, you get two. The second time you do it, you maybe put two more on there, and then the third time you take them off. So it was three specials for 4. It doesn't sound that great.
Yeah, it doesn't sound that great, especially when you take into account the fact that it costs 2 to begin with. I do see it seeing a little bit of play, like a little bit of a bump with Sebulba, just because Sebulba might want something to use the special on. A little bit of a bump with Weapons Factory Alpha. So that should be cool. But there is actually one hidden mechanic in this card that might make it almost like redeem itself, which is that last sentence in the special, you may take one additional action. So with it, you can actually pseudo cheat your special sides. So if you have like Y-Wings on the board or other specials on the board, you can resolve specials and then take one additional action because one of those specials was your little stock freighter. So you might see like, you know, random combos with like other specials in the game, just because it's like a 4-speed in that case. It gave you 2 actions for resolution.
Yeah, I kind of like that. What they did here with that, it's and the biggest thing with supports and the biggest downside is how slow they are. Not only do you have to activate them one at a time, rather than upgrades where you activate them with your characters, but then you have to usually resolve their dice kind of piecemeal because some have good specials and some have great damage sides, and so you know having a card like Stocklight Freighter could be a good sign of things to come for support in the future.
It even has that random ambush keyword. So
yeah, it's really fast support.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if it can see play. I think that if you run this card, you run 2 of them because you're hoping to get it on turn 1 as kind of a resource gen card. But we'll see if that delayed resource gen is able to affect the game enough, because, you know, getting 4 resources on like turn 1, you know, 2 on turn 1 and then 2 on turn 2 is a lot different from something like Rally. It only gives you 1 on turn 1.
I was just gonna say Rally. It's like a one-cost version of this almost, where you know it's a little bit slower, a lot slower, because you have to position your hand around Rally Aid, but you know it's really good from turn 1, whereas this card needs to get going.
Right.
But this is trilogy. It could be a trilogy card. So.
And we've kind of ignored the other 2 sides, which is a 1 range and a 2 indirect, which aren't really great. They're not bad to have as your off sides. Like, you think of this card as like resource gen, and then if you miss it, oh, you did 2 indirect. You know.
Yeah, it's not bad. The 1 range maybe can help with some modified sides. So certainly could be worse.
Yeah, I'm not too stoked for the card, but I think in combination with Sebulba or maybe in a Weapons Factory Alpha deck, it might see some play.
Yeah, but we haven't really seen much good yellow vehicles in a while, especially cheap yellow vehicles.
Most of the cheap ones end up being what, gray with a T-47 airspeeder, and then like red. Everything else is basically red. So yeah, it should be interesting to see if this sees play. But yeah, that's the video, guys. That's our spoilers. Definitely some Lucas influence, but we'll see. It'll be interesting to see set 6 as we come around the corner and move into just Jeremy in theory.
Yeah, I mean it's got a lot of theme. That's one thing I think Lucas did really well. Was a lot of good theme. But I'm excited to see, you know, maybe dial in the reins. Jeremy comes to the stage. Set 6. We'll see.
We will see. Well, guys, hope you enjoyed our little spoiler review We will also have an article on our website talking a little bit more, I don't know, in depth about our thoughts on the cards. But until then, thanks for watching.